Hi, good day everyone. So today we'll be doing January 2025 number 5. Jan 2025 number 5. Right, paper 2, which is a statistics question, right? The table below shows the mark out of 10, and then 40 students in the class gain on an essay writing test. Calculate the mean score on a test. Now to calculate mean, let's put this in block. Mean is equals to the summation of f of x over the summation of f. Right, this here when you add it up, which is the number of students supposed to give you 40, f of x is taking your marks and multiplying it by this. So f of x, 4 3s are 12, 6 9s are 9 6s are 54, 8 7s are 56, 8 by 7 again is 56, 9 by 8 is 72, and then this is 50. You want the summation of that, so let's add it. 12 plus 54 plus 50 plus 56 plus the next 56 plus 72 plus 50 is equals to 300. So the mean should be 300 divided by 40. You're gonna get 7.5. So the mean score is 7.5 marks, and that is how you do this first question here. Okay, let's go on to the next question, which is determine the modal mark. Now your modal mark is your most popular. Which was the most popular mark? That's the person who got the most amount of students, which is 9 students, got 6. So your modal mark would be, let's get your thing, would be 6 marks. Right? Then they want the median mark. Right, so your median mark is Q2 is n plus 1 divided by 2. N is the number of persons, which would be 40 plus 1 divided by 2, which would be 40 plus 1 divided by 2 is your 20.5. Right? So where's your 20.5? That would be student, this is 3 and 9 is 12, 12 and 8 is 20. Right? So your 20.5 would be between 8 and 7. Well, your number of students, 8, and your 7th number of students. So the marks I got in is 7 plus 8, between 7 and 8. So your modal mark would be 7 plus 8 divided by 2. 7 plus 8 divided by 2 is equal to divided by 2 is 7.5. So your 7.5 marks would be your median mark. So again, your median is Q2, which is you take your number of persons, n plus 1 divided by 2, which is 40 plus 1 divided by 2 is 20. It is a 20.5th person. Where's your 20.5th person? We know that this is your third person, then 3 plus 9 after this would be your 12th person, then your 12th, then 12 plus 8 is 20. So after 8, this 8 students would be 20 persons, right? But you want your 20.5th person. So that 20.5th person is going to be between 7 and 8. That is why we add the 2 and add 7 plus 8 and divide by 2. Alright, let's look at this. Using the information in the table below, a pie chart is constructed to represent a mark assigned. Calculate the angle of the sector represented in intervals. X is more than 5, more than or equal to 5, but less than or equal to 6 in the pie chart. Right. So this one, how many students made this mark? 9. 9 out of 40. So 9 divided by 40 would be the fraction 9 over 40 is 9 over 40. And you want to know what angle, so you multiply by 360 over 1. Multiply by 360. So this would be 81 degrees. Right, so calculate the angle of the sector, it would be 81 degrees. Okay, let's go to the next question. The diagram below shows two fair six-sided dice P and Q. The number 6 on dice P are, the numbers on dice P, die P are 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. The 6 numbers on dice Q are 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. When a dice is rolled, the score is the number on the top face, so that is this here. Dice P is rolled once. Once is a probability that it is not 2. Right? So your probability is your desired over your total. Right? So not 2. So what is your desired not 2? How many times do you see 2 on dice P? You see it once, so your desired is not 2, so that's 5 times out of your total. How many faces? On dice P, 6, so it will be 5 out of 6. Dice Q is rolled twice. What is the probability that the score 1 on both times? So let's do it once and then you're going to do it twice. So when they say both times, you have to multiply it, right? So for your first time, you scored once both times. So how many times can you score 1? 1, 2, 3. So it will be 3 times out of 6, which is a half. And then your second time would be a half, right? So a half by a half would be a quarter. And that is how that would be the probability. So this one again, let's just go it over. Dice Q is rolled twice. What is the probability that the score is 1 on both sides? So the first thing that you're going to do for the first time, how many times do you see 1? That's 3. So again, your probability is your desired over your total. So your desired would be, could happen 3 times out of 6, which is a half, right? And then if you're going to score once again, so this is the probability, and the first time the probability for the second time is also a half. But you want to know what is the probability that the score is 1 both times. To find the probability for both times, for P for 1 and then a next one, you simply multiply a half by a half, which is equals to a quarter, right? And that would be your answer, right? Let's look at part 3. Dice Q is rolled 72 times. Calculate an estimate of the number of times the score is 3. Right? So the probability that it was 3 would have been 1 over 6. Right, so the probability that it scored, that would be, let's just write it down. 1 time out of 6. And how that's for one rule. But how many rules it is? 72 times. So therefore it would be 72 multiplied by 1 over 6, which should give you 12. 12. Right, and that would be our answer. Let's look at this. Part 4. Each dice is rolled once. The product of the score is recorded. The sample space diagram is shown below. Find the product of the scores 2 or 3. Meaning when you multiply this and you multiply this, you're supposed to get 2 or 3. So this one is no, when you multiply, so you multiply and die 1 by die 2, right? So how many 2's and how many 3's are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So again, probability is your desired over your total. What is your desire? That you scored 2 or 3. So there's 12 times out of, how many times is this? That is, I believe that is out of, well, there's 6 here and 6 here, 6 is 36, so it'll be 12 out of 36. 12 going to 36 3 times, so it'll be a third. So if you got the score is 2 or 3, would be a third, and that is how you would do number 5 for January 2025.